I had a moment that I was holding her and I was feeding her, and she was so peaceful in my arms, and I just looked down at her and I started crying.
For just about everybody, becoming a parent for the first time is an adjustment. But for Gypsy-Rose Blanchard, who gave birth to daughter Aurora 3 months ago, motherhood is particularly complicated.
And I had the realization that I was once that little. I was once a little innocent baby, and all these emotions surfaced. And I understood even more, how could a mother ever harm their child? And suddenly I was asking more questions than I had answers to.
Now 33, Gypsy-Rose's life has largely been defined by her troubled childhood. The victim of her mother Dee Dee's psychological disorder, Munchausen syndrome by proxy, where one person seeks attention through a victim's made-up illnesses. By the time she was 8 years old, life for Gypsy was non-stop pills and procedures. She was confined to a wheelchair, her mother telling doctors Gypsy had an array of illnesses, including leukemia and paralysis from the neck down. She was forced to undergo numerous procedures, including eye surgeries, a feeding tube, and the removal of her salivary glands.
Is there anything specifically that you want your daughter to know about your mom?
I want her to know that my mom wasn't a villain. The bigger conversation is about mental illness. And I think that if I can explain to my daughter that, you know, her grandma was not evil, not a monster, but she was very sick. And I think by putting it that way, I take control over the narrative.
That narrative shocked the nation.
This is the house where Claudinia Blanchard was found stabbed to death.
At age 23, Gypsy plotted with her then-boyfriend, Nicholas Godejohn, to kill her mother. Gypsy would eventually plead guilty to second-degree murder.
Guilty.
Godejohn was convicted of carrying out the stabbing death and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. After nearly a decade behind bars, Gypsy was released in late 2023 and immediately stepped into the public eye with her wildly popular social media posts.
Hey everyone, this is Gypsy. I'm finally free.
And 2 Lifetime docu-series, The Prison Confessions of Gypsy-Rose Blanchard and Gypsy-Rose, Life After Lockup.
Now that you've been free for a year, do you feel like you have your footing finally?
There's still things I'm adjusting to. Literally, I went to get coffee and I went to an ATM and I realized I've never got money out of an ATM before, so it didn't work. I'm like, am I doing this right?
By her side, Ken Urker, her boyfriend and the father of her baby.
Ken has been an amazing father. He's not afraid to change poopy diapers. He's not afraid to get his hands dirty. He's been really wonderful and supportive.
The pair met when she was in prison and even got engaged, then went their separate ways before reconnecting last year. Their journey as a couple and as new parents documented in the new series of Lifetime's Life After Lockup.
So, you know, I feel like I don't want to put him in any sort of like a negative headspace, and I don't want him to have resentment towards me for like how fast everything moved. Like I told him, I don't want him to stay because of the baby. I want him to want this relationship to work.
Complicating matters is Gypsy's divorce from her husband of 2 years, middle school teacher Ryan Anderson. They too met while she was in prison. He was waiting for her when she got out.
What if I snore?
Well, then we gotta get a divorce right away.
The pair at the time speaking to ABC's Deborah Roberts.
Did you get your happy ending?
I think he did.
Time will tell. I think I'm a Prince Charming.
But soon after that interview, Gypsy filed for divorce, talking with Nightline co-anchor Juju Chang.
What went so wrong so fast?
Well, I think people need to understand that Ryan and I had been in a relationship for 3 years. And sometimes relationships just take its course, and that's what happened. So I reached out to my attorney a few days ago. And she texted me back and she said, let me get the text. I'll have the paperwork for you to sign this week. I said, meaning the divorce will be final soon? She said, yes, ma'am. So.
Okay. Very soon then.
I know that you've talked about the timeline of wishing to be able to fully get the divorce behind before then becoming parents.
Right.
Has this been a challenge for you?
I mean, I think that, like, yeah, it was a little bit messy, of course. I think that if we could go back and do it all over again, would have done it a little bit better for all of us involved. But it's just how life happens sometimes, and we have a loving household, and that's kind of what we're focused on.
How is Gypsy as a mom?
She's been a rock star of a mom. I mean, she's been doing like most of the hard stuff, like a lot of the night shifts and the cluster feedings. And to be honest, she's with her 24/7, where I go to work sometimes, or she'll go back home to cut off and take her with her. So I'm truly lucky to have her as the mother of Aurora. Yeah, she's been great.
What do you think is the question I can ask Ken that will make him most uncomfortable?
When he's gonna propose.
Okay.
I want to marry Gypsy because I love Gypsy, and I'm proud to have her as a partner. I'm proud to have her as a parent in my life, and those are the reasons why I want us to take that step, and I believe that we'll get there very soon.
Do you think that motherhood has changed you as a person?
I think it has. I was always so immature that having a child, I had to grow up fast. It was no longer, okay, I give myself the grace, I didn't have a childhood, so I'm just gonna do whatever I want. I had to put that in the past and focus on, okay, I'm a mother. This little baby depends on me. My daughter needs me, and I need to mature up and do right by her.
She says she's looking to her stepmom, Christy, and Ken's mom as a role model for her parenting.
What's the most important thing you want to teach Aurora?
I want to teach her compassion for others, and to not judge people. I feel like I've been judged so much in the media and social media in the public eye.
What do you want those people to know about you, about your daughter, and about your relationship?
I want people to know I am not my mother. I am my own self, and I have freedom now. And so I don't feel like it's fair for people to take that freedom to have a family or make a life for myself, have a second chance. The traditional system gave me a second chance. Why shouldn't they?
Our thanks to Trevor. Gypsy-Rose, Life After Lockup, airs Monday at 9 p.m. on Lifetime.